Back with Fran Fraschilla. I'm Jim Durham. The U.S. down by 9. Fran, when we came on, we said three-point shooting would decide this game. Either the accuracy of Italy or the U.S. defending it.
Well, and it's been a little bit of both. As you see, Team USA comes into this tournament in the half court, Jim. They have not been good defensively. You remember Puerto Rico shredded them with dribble penetration. China knocked down some threes. Slovenia yesterday, a little bit of both. And Marco Bellinelli, the 20-year-old, the outstanding shooter, who is going to be someday an NBA player, has really given Italy a big lift with, as you mentioned, that long-range shooting.
Bellinelli with 3 three-pointers at the half.
The key for Team USA right now is they've only got 4 steals, which means they've got not much in transition. Can they defend in the half court, and can they play better in the half court on offense together?
Elton Brand turned away right at the rim, and it's Italy off to the races. Yep, and a foul. Bellinelli with 2 more.
Well, this is not a vintage Italian team. It's a rebuilding Italian team. But you see the missed shot. No one gets back. Bellinelli leaks out from behind and gets a chance now at another three-point play.
In that exhibition game against the Olympic team in Germany in 2004, Italy won by 17, and they're up by 12 right now.
Same point I made earlier. They had no NBA players on that team.
That's Dwayne Wade getting to the cup. 6 points for Wade.
Team USA plays one way on the defensive end. Pressure defense. It has not bothered Italy to this point.
That led to an open shot right there on the missed steal. Here comes Paul. LeBron James blocking foul against Italy. Foul is on Rocca.
Jim, another thing that stands out from that first half, only 5 assists. Team USA came in averaging around 20. The ball movement's been outstanding, but a little too much one-on-one in my opinion, because Italy has played off and contested shots and has kept Team USA from getting to the lane off the dribble.
Luca Gari replacing Rocca. Rocca goes out with 4 fouls. Carmelo Anthony off the inbounds. Elton Brand trying to keep it alive and puts it down with 2 hands.
Good energy right there. Elton Brand, you don't have to run plays for him and Howard. They've been very good around the paint.
But Bellinelli with 2 more, and Italy is back up by 8.
Well, this is a coming out party for Marco Bellinelli on the international stage.
And the U.S. gets that corner look from Anthony. Now it's an 8-point ball game.
Team USA right now just has to be solid and play contained defense. No gambling for steals. Force tough shots, rebound the ball, and get the ball out in transition.
Here's Bellinelli with a long 3.
Well, he'll keep both teams in the game, Jim, because he will shoot some tough shots.
There you go. Dwayne Wade throwing it down, a 6-point ball game.
If they can't turn Italy over, they need to keep them contained, keep them from driving, force tough shots, and get the long rebounds and get it out and go.
7:52 left in the third. Interior pass tipped away. It was Anthony on the steal, and again the United States on the run out, and the U.S. right back in it, a 4-point Italian lead.
Well, we've seen more fast breaks in the first 2.5 minutes from Team USA than in the entire first half, and that's a good sign.
Early in this third quarter, Italy went up by 12. Bellinelli on a rare miss, but the loose ball rebound to Italy, knocked away by Wade and out of bounds to Italy.
And you notice, Jim, Dwayne Wade starting the second half along with Brand. Nice drive by the precocious youngster from Bologna who idolizes Kobe Bryant.
It's too bad he's not able to go against his idol.
And he probably will in 2008. Kobe Bryant, whose dad had a great career in Italy and speaks fluent Italian, very, very popular in that country.
This is DeBella, number 13.
Must contain dribble penetration.
U.S. doing a little bit better job defensively, but unable to box out there, and so Gary gets credit for the follow.
Well, that's just a mental mistake.
Wade again, and D. Wade will shoot 2.
Again, in transition, you get Dwayne Wade in space, and he's going to be impossible to guard.
Gary called for the foul, the first on Gary. And Italy with 2 team fouls in the third.
You sense an energy level now from Team USA that was missing in the second quarter. And a sense of urgency for sure.
Dwayne Wade to shoot his first free throw in this game, 79% in the tournament. Wade has scored 11.
We talked about the difference between Slovenia and Italy. Slovenia tried to run with Team USA. Italy very good in the half court. That's where you have to be patient defensively and force tough shots.
Once again, the United States back to within 4. Dwayne Wade with 12, 8 in the third quarter.
See, the shot clock is only 24 seconds in FIBA play, so they have got to shoot the ball and come to you.
U.S. double teaming on the perimeter. And allows for an opening underneath. And active hands by the U.S. trying to dig it loose, and a jump ball is called. The first of the tournament.
Great effort.
Where the United States is concerned.
We've seen Italy not back down the entire game. Both teams have jawed at each other. You see Michelori get blocked, but he went to the floor. Great hustle.
That was Chris Paul who knocked it loose. And it'll be Paul, and it's a on the.
It's almost like Team USA is offended that Italy's playing hard.
Yep. Mordente back into the game. So it belongs to Italy on the possession from the baseline to make the inbounds. And we have more than one whistle on that play. Foul on Elton Brand.
You hear Dwayne Wade in the background. Just stay focused.
You can hear him say it again.
It's like that's another inbounds play where we get caught on a back cut. This is like a championship fight. You haven't knocked your opponent out yet, so now you just have to try to win on points.
And now a foul called here against Saragna. His second. Italy with 4 team fouls. The United States with 3. Well, apparently that was an offensive foul against Italy. So the U.S. trying to cut it to 2.
First set play they've run tonight.
Anthony, 4-3 and a 1-point game.
Very, very smooth. 3 or 4 people touched the ball on that set play. And Anthony has played with great confidence in this tournament.
He's got 5 of his 11 in the third. He and Wade are leading the comeback for the United States. Luca Gari under pressure.
And LeBron James is all over Bellinelli.
We've played a little over 4 minutes. Here comes the U.S. looking for the lead, and Wade gives it to them.
You notice, Jim, no more dribble penetration. They're staying at home. They got to get back.
A foul called on the United States.
Italy comes in shooting only 42% from the field. So if you're not going to steal it, you want to force a tough shot. And the long rebound has led to runouts in this quarter by Team USA. When you gamble and don't steal it, you're now playing 4 versus 5, and that played into Italy's hands in the first half.
Shane Battier replacing LeBron James for the United States. 4 team fouls on the U.S.
Of course, Mike Krzyzewski was letting the official know that.
And Michelori drops the first of 2 free throws. He is 3 for 3 in this game, 6 for 7 in this tournament. LeBron James with that last personal foul. That's his second. Italy back on top.
See now some set offense. Different people touch the ball. Great look.
Elton Brand putting the U.S. back in front. That was Carmelo Anthony on a good find.
It was way too much one-on-one in the first half.
And I think they probably heard a little bit about that.
Yes, they did.
In the locker room at halftime. And the defense has improved too. Good recovery. And as Gari tried to make the move, he turned it over. A little bit of a spring in the step of the United States players right now as they have gone on a 19-9 run to wipe out a, well, at one time it was a 12-point Italian lead.
USA can get any shot they want in the half court. This has not been traditionally a particularly good Italian defense. Today they've been good because they haven't had to guard very long on each possession.
The biggest lead in this game for the U.S. has been 6. That was at the end of the first quarter. Anthony for 3. Carmelo Anthony starting to feel it in this second half.
As good a year as he had for the Nuggets, this has been, I think, a revelation in terms of how good a player he can become.
He's got 14 points in this game, 8 in this quarter. About 4.5 left in the third, and off the ball a whistle. And a timeout taken with the U.S. up by 4. United States enjoying a 4-point lead after trailing by 12. Just before we went to break, there was a double foul, but Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony have really led the way for the U.S. There you see Wade with 10 in the quarter. Anthony has 8.
Well, and Wade getting the start at the beginning of the third quarter for Mike Krzyzewski. His energy level has been important in this run, and Carmelo Anthony continues really to be the catalyst offensively for Team USA throughout this tournament.
Marco Mordente picking up his 4th foul. He was involved in the double foul with Kurt Heinrich. And the 3 ball is coming up a little light for Italy. And the U.S. will have it.
Well, primarily, Jim, because they're not getting open looks. Team USA has tightened down that half-court defense, content to play, contain, and pressure and contest shots. Contesting shots, to me, is the unsung art of half-court defensive play.
Anthony. Wow. So Carmelo Anthony has 10 in the quarter.
No trepidation at all.
And the U.S. has equaled its largest lead.
Amazing how much confidence the team gets when someone gets hot.
And in this case, it's 2 guys. It's Anthony and Wade. No walk. Elton Brand with a block and then a foul on Italy.
Even when Italy now tries to penetrate the lane, you see much better help. A lot of white shirts around. And Elton Brand, Johnny on the spot with that long wingspan.
Italy over the limit. The U.S. to the free throw line.
Much better team defense in this half.
Michelori going to the bench, and Dwayne Wade can give the United States its biggest lead to date with 3:51 left in the third. Wade had hit his 2 free throws prior to that. 14 points for Wade. He leads the United States in scoring in the tournament, averaging just under 20. And the U.S. up by 7.
The USA had better get used to this style of play, because this is exactly what Argentina, Spain, and Greece will bring to the table. But in my mind, much more competent opponents than this Italian team USA is playing today.
In fact, Argentina, I mean, they've got like a 30-point margin of victory working, and in their 4-0 record to this point.
they have about 7 or 8 guys who are either in the NBA or could be playing in the NBA. We know about Ginobili, we know Alberto, we know Delfino, but we also know that Luis Scola is one of the best players in Europe, and that Walter Hermann will be joining the Charlotte Bobcats this year.
LeBron James in that foul on Heinrich, his third, and Basile on the free throw line for Italy. He hasn't scored in the last 2 games, and that's his first miss of the tournament. Here's a guy, he scored 32 points in the first 2 games of the tournament.
Well, he's 31, Jim, and he's sort of winding down his national team career. The hero back in 04, 31 points against Lithuania in the semifinals. And remember, Italy lost to Argentina for the gold medal game in Athens.
Chris Paul returning. The U.S. lead at 6, 3.5 for the third.
Italian team very much in transition with Bellinelli, Bargnani, and the 18-year-old phenom Gallinari, a 6'9" wing player.
Oh, some pass by LeBron James to Brand, and Elton Brand is fouled. Oh my, watch this. Well, we didn't see the entry pass, but what a pass he made around the Italian defender.
Well, this team averages 20 assists a game. Only 5 in the first half. Much better ball movement this quarter.
Elton Brand has had a struggle at the line, 4 of 8. Make that 4 of 9.
A little grimace by Coach K. Only went 12 of 19 from the line in the first half.
We're nearing the 3-minute mark for the third. Gili with the rebound, and Italy takes it back out front. So the good offensive rebounding continues for Italy.
And you see how patient they are to use that shot clock once they get it back.
Gili to the rim, contact, and the foul goes against him. Battier taking another charge.
Well, Battier a little late on the rotation, but still there in enough time to draw the charge. Gili out of control.
There you see Mordente and Rocca with 4 personal fouls. Remember, in FIBA play, you foul out with 5. So the U.S. a 6-point lead. They've been up by as many as 7. They trailed by as many as 12. And all in this third quarter.
Got away with a travel.
And he scores the basket and draws the foul. Carmelo Anthony.
That time they isolated Carmelo on a play they call elbow. He had plenty of room to work against the slower defender.
Gili called for the foul. And Anthony with a huge third quarter working. He has scored 12 of his 18 in this quarter.
The thing that has impressed me about Anthony, and Jim, you see these guys night in and night out during the NBA season, is he can kill you in a variety of ways on the offensive end.
Yep. Most of these guys can.
Yeah.
Most of the good players, you know, they can do that. I mean, they'll have a signature move or play, but they're all very good.
But I love the way he, little acting job by Anthony.
Here's Basile. It's a 3.
Well, he brought that one out of mothballs.
4 points for him in this quarter. Paul sets up a teammate, Joe Johnson. That's his shot. And on the rebound, a foul called on the U.S. That United States lead back to 5. Battier called for the foul. Battier has his first.
You know, Anthony is more than an efficient jump shooter. Terrific in the mid-range. We've seen him beat you off the dribble. And then we've also seen him punish smaller defenders in the post.
While the United States is having its hands full with Italy in this game, with the winner winning Group D. Basile making the free throw tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN2. It'll be Senegal, who's yet to win, 0-4. So Basile has come to life offensively in the third quarter for Italy. 6:30 tomorrow morning. Plan on being here. 3-point lead now for the U.S. Marcanato returns.
Coach Recalcante has done a nice job, Jim, of rotating his players. They go 10 deep. Bunch of guys nobody here in the United States has ever heard of, but these are all solid professional players.
Anthony left open. Carmelo Anthony has it stuck on automatic here in the third, and the U.S. back to a 5-point edge. Remember, the United States had just 36 points on the board at halftime. Hit the bottom edge of the rim on that reverse move, and there's the foul stopping the transition. Basile picking up the foul, his first.
Oh, Basile, just a role player, not in danger of fouling out. You see the intelligent foul to stop that fast break, common in international play.
Chris Paul is on the line. He's 10 of 12 from the line in the tournament. Paul with a 5-point game working. Followed in by Anthony.
Not sure there wasn't a nice, gentle, polite nudge.
22 points for Carmelo Anthony, 16 in the third.
I've always felt, Jim, the trapezoid lane actually provides the offensive player second on the line with an advantage because he's actually closer to the rim.
That's a good point.
Than the defender.
Yep. And it is a game about angles. Perimeter shot going down for Marcanato.
Well, that's what you'd call the prototypical Euro big man, the guy that can step away from the basket and knock down the three in Marcanato.
LeBron James trying to hand off to Brand. Marcanato digs it out. And here goes Basile. He nearly turned it over. Italy hanging right in.
Antonelli, considered an NBA prospect a couple of years ago, but still a young quality player.
The United States can take it all the way down. Their lead is 4. They've been up by 8. They've been down by 12. Why not? Anthony for 3.
He has bailed Team USA out in this half, along with Dwayne Wade's energy.
25 points for Carmelo Anthony, and the United States heads to the fourth, up 7. So Dwayne Wade had a big third quarter. Carmelo Anthony had a bigger third quarter. Anthony scored 19, and between the two of them, they scored 30 of the 35 U.S. points. And Italy a steal to open up the fourth quarter as Italy is back to within 5.
Just a sloppy entry pass by Chris Paul. Mancinelli reads it. Athletic. Gets out into the passing lane. Gets the easy 2.
Mancinelli with 10 points scored.
He was in the doghouse for a while.
Carmelo Anthony hits again.
Jim, you know when you go to an arena and they have the dot races up on top of the scoreboard, I always felt like Carmelo Anthony in the last couple of years was the third dot behind Wade and James. And this has been a coming out party
it
for
might
him.
be a dead heat now.
Absolutely.
So the U.S. with a 7-point lead. 8 has been the biggest. Mancinelli gets the roll. Paul inadvertently tapped it in.
Mancinelli played very little in the first 2 games for Coach Recalcante.
Joe Johnson, LeBron James missing there. The ball out of bounds. With Carmelo Anthony scoring 27 points. That's the most by a U.S. player so far in the tournament. He had 19 in the third. And the Nike storyline also shows us that Dwayne Wade has scored 15. He had 11 in the third.
This is a great test for Team USA. They're going to be in this situation in the medal round in terms of defending in the half court and executing down the stretch of a game.
Basile. Foul on Elton Brand. 3 fouls on Brand.
Once again, dribble penetration rears its ugly head. They had it under control in the third quarter. But a drive by the wily Basili, the 31-year-old who now plays at Barcelona. This guy Marcinato, he doesn't shoot free throws like Chris Dudley, but he sort of reminds me of Chris Dudley.
In fact, that is his first free throw attempt, not in the game, but in the tournament. 2 free throws by Marcinato. 4 points in the ball game, and the USA lead is 3.
Just imagine if Team USA didn't have the hot hand of Carmelo Anthony that half.
Or Wade, and Wade is fouled here. Dwayne Wade might be injured.
Well, I'll tell you what, he attacks the basket here with authority. There's no question. He comes down hard. You see him lose the ball.
He did get the call on the foul, so 2 shots for Wade. Marcinato picking up his third. 8:23 for the fourth. Italy was up at the half by 9. They extended that to a 12-point lead early in the third. The U.S. came back behind Anthony and Wade to go up by 8. And Italy twice tonight. They were down by 6 at the end of one, 8 in that run in the third quarter. And the Italians would not go away either time.
No, and this is what it's going to be like when they get, as I mentioned, to Argentina, Greece, Spain, France. Not every game is a blowout. Those days are pretty much history now as Team USA competes with the best international teams in the world.
Although tomorrow, Senegal 0-4.
Sure. That will be a blowout.
Right.
Yeah. We're talking about medal round play against those elite teams.
Which follows tomorrow's conclusion of play and pool competition in Group D, which the winner will win that group. The winner of this game wins Group D.
Very fortunate there. Miscommunication, the open shot.
And D. Wade putting on a show. Anthony. Wow. Carmelo Anthony for 3.
Well, Coach K's got to thank his lucky stars that Carmelo Anthony has heated up, because although he's been red hot, Team USA has gotten very little from everybody else on the floor but Dwayne Wade today.
Carmelo Anthony with 30 of the 77 U.S. points. Basili. Oh, man, over the back, Massinelli, and he lays it in.
Well, that's FIBA play.
That's Saranya, I'm sorry.
You got to play through that.
And Saranya comes out with a loose ball.
That's a travel.
A couple of them. LeBron James says, I'll take that.
A couple sloppy plays by Chris Paul in this quarter.
And backing down LeBron James, and the foul goes against Italy. Saranya called for the foul.
Penetration into the lane, the kick out, good unselfishness. That left corner's been good for Team USA. It's been particularly good for Carmelo Anthony.
Italy with 2 team fouls, so have the U.S. They also with 2. And a timeout taken. Don't go away. We've got a good one. Welcome back. A 5-point game for the United States here in the fourth with 7:07 left. The United States and Italy trying to win Group D. Either team can win with a victory in this one, as they're the only 2 unbeatens. With 1 to play, and the U.S. plays Senegal tomorrow on ESPN2 here at 6:30. Remember, Fran, when earlier in the tournament the U.S. had 7 players in double figures? In this game, only 6 have scored. And Dwayne Wade is definitely one of them.
And only 4 have scored in this half, Jim. Certainly it's been Wade and Anthony that have carried the load for Mike Krzyzewski.
And 8 points has been the biggest lead for the United States. Anthony a steal. There's the early foul. Saranya. Fourth foul on him.
Almost obligatory. You knew it was coming, and Anthony knew it was coming. But a smart play.
Bellinelli returning for Italy.
Coach Recalcati, he knew this would be a year. 5 of Italy's top 6 scorers from his Euro team a year ago are gone. He's in a rebuilding mode, but still a solid core.
And again, remember, this is the silver medal winning team from the 04 Olympics.
Yep.
Dwayne Wade has 20 points tonight. The U.S. with its biggest lead. Vasily on the miss, and Anthony collects the rebound.
Anytime Team USA has kept Italy in the half court and taken away dribble penetration, they've had much success.
Elton Brand putting the United States up by double figures.
Once again, dribble penetration, the bane of a half-court defense, as Chris Paul is able to draw defenders. Brandon gets behind the defender on the baseline in an easy 2.
And another assist for Chris Paul, who came into this game with a 26-3 assist to turnover ratio. Timeout, and the U.S. has opened it up. The fourth, the United States with its biggest lead at 11. You can see the second quarter, Italy took the 9-point lead at the half with that 26-11, but then the Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade onslaught in the third. They scored 30 out of 35 for the U.S.
And how about this young man, Marco Bellinelli, 20 years old.
17 points tonight.
The top young players in the world.
Wade sends it out to Heinrich. Dwayne Wade, the offensive rebound, and a foul on Italy.
Well, Dwayne Wade's energy, remember, he started the third quarter. He had been coming off the bench for Coach K. He started the third quarter, and along with Carmelo Anthony's offensive prowess, really picked up, I think, the energy level of Team USA.
Yeah, they were struggling to score, as that 11-point second quarter would indicate. But as I mentioned, between the two of them, they scored 30 out of the 35 in the third. You know, Fran, I worked a Heat Cavaliers game during the season this year in which Wade and LeBron James combined for 39 in one quarter.
Well, Dwayne averaged almost 35 in the playoffs.
It was like a shootout at the OK Corral.
I've used this analogy before in this tournament, Jim, but this has been a tough non-conference test for Team USA. Remember, after Senegal starting on the weekend, it becomes a Sweet 16 one and done. So this has been a good wake-up call.
And the winner of Group D will be playing the fourth team out of Group C in the 8th finals. Joe Johnson, the rebound, and that could come from a group of Lithuania, Australia, Brazil. Carmelo Anthony swoops in.
And if I were Coach K, the next few days when you have some time to practice, I would work on some pick-and-roll defense in the half court, because they're going to see a lot of that as they advance deep into this tournament.
So the U.S. now with a 13-point lead. The final score of this game is giving indication that it will be no indication of how competitive it was.
Well, we saw Slovenia shoot their way back into it a little bit.
There's that man again. Bellinelli continues to add to his point total. He was averaging a little over 13 a game coming in.
Well, Bellinelli is 20, Bargnani is 21, Mancinelli 23. Good core group for Coach Recalcati as he builds towards Beijing in 08. Oh, my goodness.
Right down the chute for Carmelo Anthony.
Unbelievable.
That's his 5th three-point field goal.
Jim, the scary part is what happens if Carmelo Anthony was not hot in the second half?
It would still be a close game, and it may yet be. Bellinelli has 3 more.
Now, Bellinelli plays before packed houses in the Italian League, and I said it before, and I mean it, in much more pressure situations than this. So you can see the poise of the young man.
Yeah, he's got 4 3-point field goals in the game. Tapped out, Italy on the move. They can get inside of double digits. Basili. And out of bounds, last touch by USA.
Basili at 31, I don't think he has the legs he had when he was younger. Not as deep or as accurate a shooter as he's been in the past. Still an important player. Yeah, you know, Jim, I was going to say the residue of 04.
Yeah.
The success, you know, rubs off on the young players.
That's right. And Basili was a big factor in the win by Italy over the United States in that exhibition game in 04.
Yep.
DeBella.
Yeah, we've seen this guy get into the lane a little bit. Dribble penetration. Again, there are still things that Mike Krzyzewski will harp on.
And with their three-point weapon, Italy certainly has not lost contact with the U.S. 2 more for Wade. And Wade has a 24-point game working. Dwayne Wade averaging 19.7.
Well, it's been this two-man show, Wade and Anthony, that has really bailed out. And that's a good way to put it. Bailed out Team USA in the second half.
Carmelo Anthony has 10 points in this quarter. 2:39 left with the U.S. back up by 11. A timeout taken at Sapporo. And Fran, here are your top 4 teams in this tournament.
Well, and I mentioned Italy because they simulate the way these other 3 teams play. Spain with a tremendous backcourt of Navarro and Calderon. Of course, Paul Gasol inside. Argentina, now I had them 4th coming in, Jim, because they were not playing well.
Right, but they're playing well now.
And they know they're veterans. They know how to turn it on. And then, to me, the dark horse, last year's Euro champions, Greece. They don't have an NBA player on the roster.
Greece struggling with Brazil tonight. They're up by 2 with 2:14 left.
But these, to me, are the 4 best teams in this tournament. And
I want to repeat that Argentina, by the way, has the widest margin of victory of any team in the tournament, over 30 points a game they're averaging as they have moved to 4-0.
They've played so well. They've been able to rest guys like Ginobili, Nocioni. Yep. There you see Mike D'Antoni. We mentioned his Italian league background. 21 years as a player and coach in Italy. He was sort of the forgotten man, you know. He played, as you remember, the KC Kings.
Yes, and as you see the strong European influence, the international influence of the draw and kick, which the Italian team does so well, you can't help but think of how Mike D'Antoni with the Phoenix Suns, that's how they play it.
Absolutely.
So the U.S. coming up with a turnover. Here goes D. Wade. Shooting 2.
Well, Elton Brand came over to set that ball screen. D. Wade juked his man and rejected the screen.
That's Roca. He is fouled out.
Well, the electrical engineering student.
One native suburban Chicago guy fouls out another native suburban Chicago guy.
I would venture to say Dwayne Wade does not know that Mason Rocca is from Evanston, Illinois. Played for Pete Carrill, Bill Carmody, who's now at Northwestern. See, you mentioned Northwestern before. He had 18 rebounds in a game against Georgetown in an NIT game back in 1999. Well, we mentioned D. Wade yesterday. Here's a guy who wasn't even one of the top 5 high school players in Chicago his senior year. Look how far he's come.
Italy finally controls the rebound. DeBella.
To that ball movement.
One of the threes that didn't go down, and the U.S. with the rebound. And once the United States stopped giving Italy second chances.
Yes, they did a better job of containing the dribble.
When the game started out, Italy either hit the 3 or rebounded their misses.
Well, there's 2 lessons here. One, this has been a good wake-up call for Team USA. But number 2, the other top teams in this tournament can draw from what Italy has done today, which for the most part has kept Team USA out of transition.
Carmelo missed one. DeBella is fouled. 2 shots for him. Heinrich picks up the personal foul. That's 4 on Kirk Heinrich.
You notice DeBella has no gears. He just plays at 1 speed, you know.
That's right.
He's like a punt returner. He's going to run a few back, and he's going to fumble a couple.
Well, it would appear that Italy is going to go down to its first loss, but they will be advancing out of Group D with a second-place finish. And they will be playing 3C,
which is the
third team in Group C.
That's right, a deep bracket. You look at Australia, Brazil, Greece, Lithuania, and Turkey. It's hard to say when a team gives up 92 points that they control tempo.
But you're right. The U.S. average is 115 in this tournament.
That's why we talked about yesterday. Slovenia really has more talent than Italy, but did not play a smart game versus this USA team yesterday.
United States in possession. About a minute and a half left.
For a coach, this is a bittersweet feeling if you're Coach K, because we've seen more vulnerability today from this team than we've seen at any time in this tournament.
But something you mentioned, Fran, early on today is that if, and it looks like the U.S. will win, they'll get that extra day after pool play concludes tomorrow. They will not play on Saturday, but they will play on Sunday.
And they need to start preparing. Like you see, Chris Paul, he's been a little bit sloppy with the ball today. He's had more turnovers today, or at least as many, I think, as he's had in this whole tournament. But
he only had 3 coming into this game.
Yep.
Wade again at the rim.
Well, Italy's played no zone defense today, and in some ways, Wade and Anthony have made them pay.
Well, you were right about Chris Paul, who had just 3 turnovers coming in. He's committed 3 in this game.
Yep.
That's still not bad. 6 in 4 games. LeBron James capturing the rebound with less than a minute remaining. Well, at the half, the U.S. was down by 9. They trailed by 12 early in the third, and they're up 11 now on their way to victory for their 4th straight.
Boy, LeBron has struggled today.
That's Paul knocking away from DeBella.
Well, it's funny. They forced him to his left hand, and I said this to you off air. Rudy Tomjanovich is going to become a very important part of the success of Team USA in the medal round, because he's in charge of scouting, and he's going to need to know some of these lesser-known players that don't play in the NBA.
You can hear the chant of the crowd, the United States with their fans looking on. And a personal foul on Carmelo Anthony.
Well, Bellinelli is not going to be shy. He realizes that's Italy's last possession, so he's going to try to go out with a bang. And you have to think, for 20 years old, he'd be a pretty good college player.
Yeah.
Pretty good sophomore at Duke or Maryland or Ohio State.
Well, Carmelo Anthony has scored 29 of his 35 in the second half. And a big scoring day for Bellinelli as he adds a couple of free throws. He's hit 4 three-point field goals and has scored 25 points. Well, the U.S. can take it all the way off.
Good wake-up call.
The United States wins Group D. No matter what happens in the final game of pool play, because they would have the tiebreaker with Italy. Italy is now 3-1. The U.S. at 4-0. How about the second half for Carmelo Anthony? 29 in the second half of his 35 points. He and Wade combined for 30 in the third when the U.S. was coming from behind to get the lead.